A clear fact is emerging from the data. A record number of wealthy Americans are looking for an exit. This is not a guess, it is a documented trend. Data from firms like Henley & Partners, which helps people get international residency, shows a stunning surge. In 2024, applications from U.S. nationals increased by 1,000% compared to just 5 years earlier. This is a significant shift in behavior. More and more people with substantial means are creating a Plan B, a way to move themselves and their money outside of the United States. This quiet exodus is a warning sign for the economy and the dollar. This trend is not just about a few individuals seeking a change of scenery. It represents a broader loss of confidence. In 2024, an estimated 4,820 wealthy Americans formally renounced their U.S. citizenship, a 48% jump from the year before. More than half of American millionaires are now thinking about leaving the country. For younger millionaires, the number is even higher. This movement of people is also a movement of capital. This has real consequences for the value of our currency. The story does not end with individuals. Major American companies are also making moves. Craftsman Tools is moving its manufacturing to Asia. The classic American candy maker, Hershey's, is relocating chocolate production to Mexico. Even Levi Strauss, a symbol of American denim for over 150 years, is closing its last U.S. factories. These companies cite rising operational costs, the search for cheaper labor, and the effects of tariffs that make overseas production more affordable. Each factory that closes here is another blow to the domestic economy. These decisions by individuals and corporations matter to everyone, not just the wealthy. When capital and companies leave, it reduces demand for the US dollar. Think of it like a product on a shelf. If fewer people want to buy it, its price goes down. The US dollar is no different. Its value is measured against other world currencies. A weaker dollar means your savings buy less. It makes imported goods, electronics, more expensive. To understand how to protect your money, we must first understand why the dollar is weakening. The reasons are simple and clear. One major factor is interest rates. The Federal Reserve may need to cut interest rates to help a slowing economy. When U.S. interest rates are low, investors can get better returns in other countries. As a result, they sell their dollars to buy other currencies, the euro, the Swiss franc. This increased selling pressure pushes the value of the dollar down. It is a logical response to a changing economic landscape. Another reason is growing national debt and government spending. When a government spends more than it takes in through taxes, it must borrow money. This borrowing increases the national debt. A very large debt can make international investors nervous about a country's ability to pay it back. They may start to view the US dollar as a riskier asset to hold. This concern can lead them to diversify away from dollar-denominated assets, further contributing to its decline. The sheer size of the U.S. debt is a persistent weight on the dollar's long-term value. The movement of American companies overseas also plays a critical role. When a company like Hershey's moves production to Mexico, it stops spending as many dollars on U.S. labor and supplies. Instead, it sells dollars to buy Mexican pesos to pay its new workers and cover local costs. Faced with a weakening dollar, it is easy to feel worried, but panic is not a plan. Instead, you can take clear, simple, and safe steps to protect your financial well-being. These are not drastic measures but sensible adjustments. The goal is to diversify your assets so that you are not entirely dependent on the health of a single currency. Here are 10 practical actions you can consider now. This is a list of options, not a prescription. You can start with one or two that make sense for your situation and build from there. First, diversify your holdings with international stocks. When the dollar weakens, U.S. investors holding foreign stocks can benefit. The value of those foreign companies may rise in their local currency, and you get an extra boost when you convert those stronger foreign earnings back into weaker dollars. You can do this easily by buying international mutual funds or exchange-traded funds that invest in a broad range of companies across Europe, Asia, and other global markets. This is a core strategy for global diversification. Second, consider adding gold to your portfolio. Gold has a long history as a store of value, especially during times of currency volatility and inflation. You do not need to buy heavy gold bars. You can invest in gold through ETFs like the SPDR Gold Shares, which tracks the price of gold. Third, look at international bonds. They can provide interest income and potential gains if that currency strengthens against the dollar. Fourth, hold less of your savings in cash. While it is vital to have an emergency fund, Holding too much cash in US dollars can be risky during periods of decline, as its purchasing power erodes. Let's look more closely at some of these tools. Investing internationally may sound complex, but it is more accessible than ever. Funds like the MSCI EAFE Index track stocks in developed markets outside of North America. This index returned 22% in a recent period of dollar weakness, and nearly half of that gain came from currency movement. Diversification is not just about avoiding losses, it's a source of opportunity. Your advisor can help you find broad market international funds, so you don't have to pick individual foreign stocks. Gold is another powerful tool, but use it wisely. Experts often suggest a small allocation, about 5% to 10% to gold. It acts as a form of insurance. When stocks and bonds fall and the dollar weakens, gold often moves the other way. Gold can help savings grow when the dollar weakens, because demand rises in uncertain times, protecting purchasing power. Remember, gold pays no dividends and can be volatile. Include it as part of a balanced strategy. International bonds are a more conservative way to gain foreign currency exposure. If the euro strengthens versus the dollar, those euros will be worth more on conversion. That can anchor your portfolio and hedge against a dollar decline. Look for funds investing in local currency bonds from stable investment-grade countries. The headlines about a falling dollar and wealthy citizens leaving can be unsettling. It is natural to feel a sense of concern for your own savings and financial future. However, the key takeaway should not be fear, but a motivation to plan. The economic landscape is always changing, and periods of currency fluctuation are a normal part of the global economic cycle. The current weakness in the dollar is a reminder that no single asset or currency is a guaranteed safe haven forever. The most effective defense is, and has always been, thoughtful diversification and calm preparation. You do not need to make drastic changes overnight. Simple, incremental steps can protect purchasing power. Start by reviewing where your money is today. Are all of your investments tied to the US economy and the US dollar? Consider one small step toward global diversification, perhaps a modest allocation to an international stock fund. Small, consistent actions build a more resilient financial foundation.